exactly right.
It's not that big a distinction. So that almost sounds like the judge. Maybe the judge loves kombucha and once flunked the test.
Maybe he loves the purple.
Taking it or love the.
We got a lot of people. We got a lot of retirees.
Minnesota.
Yeah, we got a lot of people that go out there.
As relatives who still are here, I have absolutely no idea. It's very, very strange and very complicated. Well, as I mentioned, we'll come back at the bottom of the hour with Randy Kay. We'll talk goji berries with her. We'll talk kombucha with her, and we'll also talk about a dog story controversy that she has found herself in the middle of as well.
You're listening to Dan Barreiro on The Fan.
Defined Destinations want you to experience London with the Power Trip Morning Show. Who else? Book a 5-night stay that includes tickets to see Minnesota play Cleveland, a pub crawl, live broadcast, and a lot more. And trips are almost sold out, so you need to jump on this. Details are at kfan.com. Make the keyword London.
Stats for you. Patrick Beverley will turn 29 years old July 12. He was a second-round pick, 2009 draft, 42nd pick overall by the Los Angeles Lakers out of Arkansas. Do you remember him as a college player?
Not much.
I don't either.
I mean, I remember his name, but nothing more after that.
He is, I think, is being named or has been named first team all defense this year.
That's not bad.
Which ain't bad because, in fact, Butler didn't make first, second, or third. Some slippage there. He was in the also receiving votes category for the record. But you take a look at some of Beverly's numbers. 2016-17 season. I mean, he started a bunch. He started 55 games in 13-14, 55 games in 14-15, 63 games 15-16, and then he moved over to make room. I mean, they went to this experiment in Houston where James Harden was going to be the point guard, give him added responsibility. And so basically Beverly moved alongside him as an undersized two, I guess you could say. And they got away with it. But you look at his shooting, I mean, he shot 42% from the floor this last year. That's better than Rubio, I guess, but not by much.
That's right in Rubio territory.
434 the year before that, and 383 in 2014-15. So he's not been a great.
Is he a cheaper Rubio that's
shooter.
A better defender?
He's
without the passing.
Well, he is cheaper, I guess. I guess you could say that part of it.
You're subbing the elite defense for the elite passing, swapping out the shooting percentages and saving $9 million.
But the whole point of it, I thought, was that we've decided we can't live with crappy shooting at any position, even if we have three big-time scorers, right? I thought that was sort of the idea. Now, his three-point numbers, a little more respectable, 38.2% this last year. That's not bad, is it, from three? That'd probably be great on our team.
We take it.
40% the year before, but his overall shooting numbers are fairly, I guess you could say, fairly pedestrian. So, and then there's somebody else who's bitter, like, why are we upset with the Wolves trying to get better? Where is that one? I can't find it now. That we're complaining about a team trying to find ways to get better.
After 13 years out of the playoffs.
I don't think there's anybody on this program that's going to argue with that, but I think the issue is how are you smart about it? That you need to be smart about it, that the pieces need to fit together logically. And the idea, I think, for some of us is with the longest window of relevance potentially in the back of your mind. We're not going to win the NBA title next year. I hate to break it to people, but we're not. So we're back to, okay, I had no problem on Butler, given that in the end you didn't give up Wiggins, and that he's not old, and he is in his prime, and he's in his he's 27 going on 28. Now you add some more years. You want. I mean, basketball has always been a deal of. I mean, I understand we got the super teams going, but not. I don't know that you should always. The old deal of we got to follow the exact pattern of the Golden State Warriors. You got a very different post player than the Warriors do. You have a very different post player than Cleveland does. So I think you got to be. And I heard Tucker talk about this on In the Zone Saturday, that it's fool's gold to try to do it exactly the way that we're going to pattern ourselves after Golden State if you don't exactly have the same makeup of players, regardless of who's sharing the ball and who isn't.
Which, by definition, you don't.
No, I don't think so.
And you probably never will. You talk about who they have.
No, that's probably an all-time kind of a situation. There is, by the way, that jogs my memory. See if I can find the. It's gone now. I had a good done-as basketball item. See if I can find it. 800-320-5326, 651-989-5326. Either of those numbers will work as well. Let me see if I can. Thought it came up. Oh, yeah, here it is. Let's get the sounder going. We might as well use it. We've got them. And could use this one.
Good luck.
But no need to do that now. By the way, did you get any good Meerkat sound, or you probably haven't had time?
I haven't had time, honestly. I do know where there are a couple of bites that we'll have for sure. So we will eventually.
My only friend, the end.
I guess it would be classified as a sign of the times. Your guy Joel Embiid on draft night gave the Philadelphia 76ers young core a new nickname. He pulls letters from the names of Markelle Fultz, Embiid, Dario, is it pronounced Saric?
Yeah, Saric.
And Ben Simmons.
Mm-hmm.
The new nickname? Feds.
With no regard for human life.
To which the pithiest retort comes from none other than NBA Finals MVP Kevin Durant, who's feeling pretty haughty these days.
He's big time on social media right now.
But he's got a point when he asks, how they got a nickname and ain't played no games together? Oh, it's perfect, and it's such a sign, isn't it, at the times? They got a nickname
Well, you got to
already.
have it. That's what we always used to tell Flip.
And they gave it to themselves. One of the guys was haughty enough to self-appoint in this case. He didn't even wait for some media jackal to jump the gun.
Yeah.
They're jumping. So they could always say, well, it wasn't our idea. Somebody came up with it.
We didn't want to do 3 deep.
We were kind of felt weird about it because we haven't even played a single game yet together. No, that didn't stop them. That's what they're calling themselves, Feds.
I miss arguing with Flip about
that. Is it possible it's the Wolves? What's our nickname going to be versus the Feds in the NBA Finals this year?
Oh, man, we'll have one. I'm sure we'll have one.
We'll have to have one by then if we don't have one already.
Yeah.
Has Butler given us one yet?
No. Now, does Jimmy like his nickname, Jimmy Buckets? Did he give himself that?
I do not like that nickname.
Jimmy Buckets? Why?
I don't know. It just sounds...
It's fine. You just call him Buckets.
It sounds ancient. It doesn't... I don't know. It just doesn't sound...
Buckets is kind of new.
Buckets?
Yeah,
Buckets goes back to like 1950.
Yeah, but
maybe it's old, so old it's new again.
Yes, it's had a rebirth. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Who else has that nickname? Doesn't somebody else have Buckets in their nickname?
Well, I know they called Doug McDermott in college Dougie Buckets.
That's what bugs me about it.
But he had to drop the name when he went to. McDermott went there.
You have nailed exactly what bugs me about
Dougie Buckets.
Anything that is affiliated with McDermott, I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what,
you're Jimmy Butler,
I'd take McDermott shooting on this team.
Well, you would now.
I'd like to space him out a little bit.
You'd take Zerbiak shooting on this team, wouldn't you?
Only if it's the shooting from the rookie-sophomore game where he was MVP.
That probably would work very, very definitely. So I don't know.
So they got their own nickname.
I don't want us to not be aggressive. I don't think you...
And making him move.
I don't think you're saying don't be aggressive. Don't stop now, because they really can't stop now. You have to fill out this roster. You've got to flesh this out, or in a sense, you're not going to get really the true value of making this move with Jimmy Butler at all. But it's a matter of being smart about the moves you make and not robbing Peter to pay Paul, and remembering that you've now got 3 guys who are very accustomed to having the ball and needing the ball And how many of those do you want? And just because they kind of do, it's true they do it in Golden State, and they have in Cleveland, but in Cleveland it really wasn't 4 guys. It was 3, and one of the 3 guys was in and out. And Golden State, I don't know that that's ever going to happen with the big 3 they had originally organically the same way again. I'm not sure that it is. So I want this to be a smart process that allows the team to be better immediately. I'm fine with that. I think we're all fine with that. But also to keep the window open, to your window of relevance open for a longer period of time. Now, I know
That's my biggest concern.
That is,
Nothing's
if you
guaranteed.
do a short-term, now would Lowry take a 2-year deal where it's like $23 million a year? I don't know. I mean, and then you say, well, what's the worst we have? At the end of 2 years, we dump him, and we got $23 million in salary, and by then we're going to be far enough along that we're going to be able to replace him with somebody else. You can look at salary differently than you used to in that regard. I understand that part of it, but I want us to try to keep the window open as long as possible. In the meantime, Rubio may never come back from Spain. I'm starting to think he's just feeling like,
his face is permanently changed, and not in the good way.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Bumper to Bumper with Barreiro on The Fan.
The Fan.
Well, the timing might be serendipitous today. Each of us got an email from our next guest, I believe, last Friday. And every once in a while, we get an email from our friend Randy Kay, CNN AC 360, and she will propose that, hey, I'm working on a story that you might be of interest to your listeners, and we haven't chatted for a while. Let's get something going. And, in fact, you did get something going with her and said, why don't you come on today? And you guys agreed on a time, which is right now. And as it turns out, there may be an added purpose for Randy Kay's visit today, given that we've got a great kombucha controversy that's erupted involving Vikings wide receiver Michael Floyd. Randy Kay is on the Whiting Clinic LASIK and Eye Care hotline now. We made the leap, the assumption, as we welcome you back, that you are a devoted kombucha drinker. Is that accurate?
I do drink it. You know, there's a little tiny bit of alcohol in it. So actually, I don't drink it during the day. It's like I am such a lightweight that there's like a tiny, I don't know if it's naturally, I don't know how it comes in there, but it says even on the label there's like a tiny bit of it.
Yeah.
But yes, I do drink it. I drink the green kind, and I really do believe in it. It's like super high energy. I feel great. What's the controversy?
Well, the controversy is, and you set it up perfectly, unwittingly, not even perhaps knowing about the story. The Vikings have a new wide receiver named Michael Floyd, who had a really serious DUI as a member of the Arizona Cardinals. They got rid of him. He was looking for work. Vikings signed him to kind of a make-good deal. He's been with the team this whole offseason. But as terms of his punishment for his extreme DUI, he had a period of time where he had to go undergo testing to be sure that he was not on any sort of alcohol. And the other day, apparently, he flunked a series of tests, and these are sort of these tests where I think he gets beeped, and then he has to sort of self-administer the test, and then it is somehow beamed or sent back to the proper authorities. And he's claiming, and by the way, the numbers that came up would be very low level, wouldn't even be to the level of 0.08, but was still over 0.00. And violated the terms of his deal to save him from finishing out a prison term. And his defense is the kombucha defense. He's claiming that he was over at the house of another Viking player, and that over the course of that night, like between 2 or 4 in the morning, he drank like 6 bottles of kombucha, and he's claiming that's how he ended up with the reading that he got. The judge maybe bought it because the judge is only making him, it's kind of a slap on the hands. You got to go back to jail for 1 day, and it could have been a lot worse. So you're confirming that you apparently have gotten a bit of a buzz off your kombucha when you have...
No, seriously, actually, I knew nothing about this,
Right.
but